What's going on, everyone? It's Mike back again. More videos. Sorry, I had a couple of days off, but it's just getting this house in order. One day I'll give you a house tour, but at the minute, I don't want to. I'll show you this room if you like. Can't let you saw. Anyway, let's talk about the obvious. Anthony Gordon has joined Newcastle United. 4.5-year deal plus a potential year extension. £45 million, 40 of it being in fee, 5 in add-ons. Anthony Gordon wished everyone well in his message, and he said thank you for all of the support that Everton has given him over the years, and that he was looking forward to fighting for Newcastle United. So that's nice of him to know that he, bearing in mind this is a club that he'd been at since he was 11. He made 78 appearances, scored 7 goals, made his debut in 2017. Nice to see how bothered he was when Everton, you could argue, needed him most. But look, let's be honest, he hasn't kicked on. Without sounding horrible, change may well have been needed from Gordon. I think his head was turned in the summer, and if he thinks he's better than a club like Everton, then good luck to him, because there's been a lot of players that have thought the same, and a lot of those players have gone on to not achieve anything. In recent history, Thierry Small, Ross Barkley, there's just 2 prime examples. You go back a bit further, you've got players like Jack Rodwell, the lad that ended up going to Newcastle and Bournemouth, what was it, Dan Gosling. These are people that Everton bought in, looked after, and then they turned their back on the club. So yeah, up to you. No stress. And that means that our new manager that hasn't been appointed yet, albeit has been appointed, Sean Dyche, comes in and has some money to spend straight off the bat. We needed it. We need to spend some money. It doesn't surprise me that Gordon's gone to bring in that money, because I think as a player, I think he is replaceable. And it wouldn't surprise me, depending on how fit he gets, if you see a little bit more of Andros Townsend playing, because his basic philosophy is to beat a man who deliver a ball. So depending on where he is in his fitness journey, it wouldn't surprise me if you see him starting a little bit more. We've obviously got Damari Gray. So Iwobi can play on the wing. So there is a couple of players, Dwight McNeil. So there is players. So it's not the end of the world that Gordon's gone. And Everton, look, we've just got to stay in the Premier League. That is the be-all and end-all. I think we've got to give ourselves a chance, albeit I think it's difficult, but we've given ourselves a chance. Let's talk about some of the players we've been linked with. And I am not going to say their names correctly. But I think it's Ndiaye, Sheffield United striker we've been linked with. Apparently we've had a £22 million bid rejected. He's a championship striker and we're offering £22 million. I find that staggering. I really do find it staggering. He was in the game against Wrexham this evening, if anyone watched it on BBC, and he looked all right. He looked fairly creative. He looked like he could beat a man, but he was playing, and this is no disrespect, but he was playing Wrexham. I wouldn't necessarily be ready to pin my hopes on someone like that to keep me in the Premier League, if I'm being honest, but whatever. Everton have also been linked with Coventry City striker. Now, I'm just going to go with Caracas. But that's not his name, okay? So just accept that I've got it wrong. Don't dig me out in the comments. And if anyone wants to put the, how to actually say it in there, then you do that. You do it. We've been linked with him, a young lad who scores goals. he scores goals. Again, £17 million. It's just, I find these figures absolutely mind-bending. The problem is, though, and this was a piece that I read by, I think it was Simon Jordan, and he was basically saying that clubs like Manchester United and all these various clubs have just inflated the price of players so much that it's absolutely ridiculous. And you look at Antony, 86 million. I mean, it's absolute madness. I think Chelsea are trying to sign Enzo, whatever his name is, for 120 million. You know, they've already gone and spent whatever it is in midfield. You know, Arsenal are trying to sign Conceição for like 80 million, 70 million. Brighton won 100 million. This money is literally just monopoly money to some of these big owners. So, you know, football, if you've got that sort of talent stream, you make some serious money. And Everton just haven't. You know, £45 million for Gordon. I think it's daylight robbery, but to some people will say that's cheap. You know, and that's what's mad. So Everton have got to use this £45 million very, very, very wisely. And I'm sure there's probably a little bit more floating around, maybe another 5, 10, 15 million. It's just we haven't got long to spend it. And Everton have done typically what Everton did last season. They bring in a manager, this Sean Dyche. He literally will have the day before and deadline day to strengthen his team. And it's mind-blowing. You know, you've got people like Bielsa who came in with a plan and a strategy, and that's great, but they haven't got enough time to implement it. Again, that's Everton's fault. They could have sacked Frank after the Bournemouth game 7 weeks ago. They brought in Dyche, fair enough. I actually agree with the appointment, so I'm not losing sleep over it. But I actually thought it would be signed and sealed. I thought we'd have all that announcement rubbish out the way. And I genuinely thought we'd be seeing Everton have bid for X, Everton have bid for Y, Everton have moved for Z. You know, Everton are trying. I haven't seen anything. All I saw is the odd little post about people. And the Coventry City striker one seems to have a bit of legs in it, but we need more than a bit of legs. I mean, we need these players to be in training because we've got a game next weekend against Arsenal. You know, and Everton, if I'm being brutally honest, probably need at least a point out of that game. So these players have got to get in, sharpish, and get ready. Another player we've been linked with is Marko Arnautovic. Again, a player that I rate. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't rate him, but I think he's 32 years old and they want 17 million for him. Madness. Absolutely madness. I wouldn't be going anywhere near that. Rumours of Mikel Antonio, £8 million. They've said that he's going to be staying at West Ham. So there's that. Danny Ings has gone. Like he's moved on to West Ham now. So he's out of the equation. Also, he's injured. So in terms of who comes in, I really don't know. I suspect it'll be people abroad. We've been linked with a couple of Brazilians today whose names have absolutely escaped me. But you need a goal scorer. You need someone who's going to score enough goals to keep you in the league. And I've got to be honest, I don't even think that person was Richarlison. If there was a potential loan, I'd be concerned if we'd only signed Danjuma. There clearly is some form of money for the replacement because Danjuma was done. Like, it was done. And then Tottenham have hijacked the move. And that is what it is. He scores on his debut in the FA Cup, typical Everton. But we just need to start moving now. You know, again, it's dilly-dally delayed. It wouldn't surprise me if Sean Dyche is signing for Spurs tomorrow because Everton typically, you know, all of these forms have been done. Everything, as we understand, is signed. He's been at the Everton training ground, just confirmed the deal, and let's move on. He's apparently signing a 2.5-year deal. His backroom staff are following him. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know loads about his backroom staff because I don't, but he made a very workmanlike Burnley side, very aggressive and strong, and I admire that. We just need to keep in the league. And if we are truly comparing ourselves to Burnley, then again, as we've discussed before, the board have to look at themselves. They have to look at themselves and quite clearly have to take a little bit on the chin because they've let us down. The board need to go. We all know that. We all agree with that. We've all protested about that. And none of that changes because we've got a new manager and some new potential investment. None of that changes. The simple fact of the matter is we are where we are right now because of the mismanagement and the poor running by the custodians of our football team. We are Everton Football Club. And the way this club's been run has been appalling. And we are now in this situation because of that. £700 million was a statistic on Sky the other day. I don't really watch Sky, but I saw it all over Twitter. It was something like 727 million. And it was something like Liverpool had spent 747 million in 7 years. And they've gone from like 8th to 1st to 10th again. But at least they got there. You know, Everton are nowhere near that. And when you look at the job, the biggest thing for me was the moment that Arteta and Ancelotti were the two managers available. When Everton went with Ancelotti, I remember saying, I feel like Everton are going that way and Arsenal are going that way. And look at the role reverse. We could potentially get relegated and they could win the league. I mean, it is bewildering, to be honest, to be in this situation yet again. So, look, all I want is to stay up. That's it. That's all I want. I don't really care who comes in, but they've got to start coming in quickly. Otherwise, it's going to be a ridiculously busy day. Players like Elanga, we've been linked with from Man United. Apparently, he's got like 12 offers on the table, some including Dortmund. You're not going to join Everton. I'd be surprised if he'd consider joining Everton over Dortmund, obviously. But so we'll see. I don't really know what to say. I don't know what to expect. What I do know is that Everton need to pull their finger out, start getting some deals over the line, and start giving us something to aim for. Because at this moment in time, this team goes down. As we all know, this team, this 11, goes down. It needs reinforcements and it needs them quickly. So, yeah. Guys, look, I'm leaving it there. Keep smiling.